Greeting everyone. I'm super stoked to be presenting to you a project which I've been hacking for the past couple of weeks on Hedera Africa Hackaton. My name is Daniel and I have been a developer for the past 6+ years, and I'm also a Hedera certified developer located in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. So the project I'll be presented to you is called Madra Finance, which uh, runs under the track decentralized finance in RWA. So to begin with, I want I want to walk you through the African fintech opportunity and what the landscape generally looks like. So we do have a population of roughly 1.5 billion, which is estimated to be the largest growing market globally. And there is also a 43% annual growth when it comes to the digital payment adoption rate. And we do process roughly about 108 billion mobile money transaction throughout the Africa, and also the 2 billion accounts, of which the 1.1 or roughly more than half percent of the transaction uh, is done in sub-Saharan Africa region. So to begin with, all that does have its own limitations and also problems, and we try to identify into four primary categories. So the primary thing is that the development of the financial applications comes to be challenging due to the complexity and also the fragmentation that they have, and also the different components and pieces that you need to put together in order to build your product. So you will need to handle the KYC, market management, payment processing, regulatory compliance, risk assessment, and also things in which this is not an exhaustive list, and I can't name all of it. And the existing platforms, which I will go through, also lack interoperability layer, in which they are serving a certain demographics, and they don't allow communicating between the different platforms which exist. And many Africans also lack access to the global financial instruments such as the stock market, bond market, and they don't also have access to financial instruments such as Mastercard and Visa card. And the African stock markets are often tradable within their own specific issuing countries. So if you take a look at the Nigerian Stock Exchange or Nairobi Security Exchange, they issue assets to that specific territory, and investors of that specific region are only able to invest in those assets as well. So the current market challenges which I have identified, I have categorized them into four primary parts. The very first thing is that the fragmentation of KYC, in which you'd have to do the KYC for each and every application that you're going to be using. So let's say you had access to different tools such as PayPal, Payoneer, and other tools as well. So if you make a KYC for PayPal, you wouldn't be able to use the KYC that you did for PayPal in order to use Payoneer, and you would have to redo the KYC over and over again. And also there is a complexity when it comes to the onboarding process, in which you would have to deal with a lot of documentation and also go through a lot of steps in order to get your account set up. And the different providers are not also interoperable when it comes to the African e-money providers, when it comes to MTN, Pesa, Telebir, and other providers. Each and everyone serves their own protection, and they serve a different market, and they like interoperability between each other, and they also don't offer you access to global markets such as the New York Stock Exchange and other as well. So our comprehensive solution basically has six primary parts. So we do suggest the use of an NFT-based secure verifiable identification system, in which I will show you a demo I built when it comes to the identity verification that uses Hedera NFTs in order to make the authentication simpler and also interoperable across the Hedera ecosystem. There need to be a transparent and efficient card issuance process and also processing system, which I also have built. There needs to be a social login for a quick and also user-friendly access, in which I implemented social login when it comes to this part. And I also believe that there is a need to be access to the global financial markets in a standardized way to issue and manage African stock and bonds. And we do also offer a stable swap, which allows you to convert between different African currencies and also other global fiat systems such as the US dollar. So the business model which I have implemented is that developers would require to stake each bar and also register as a developer, which is good for the network as a whole. We will be offering a usage-based billing in for when it comes to the API usage, in which the developers would be only charged the amount they be using. We are also exploring how can we deliver KYC as a service, which I will go through, and one-time fee when it comes to the issuing of the crypto card that they be using. And there will be also a cashback offer when it comes to the credit service and the platform revenue sharing and decentralized governance system, which I'm working on as well. So to begin with, the KYC system allows you to be used across the Hedera ecosystem, and it entails a series of steps in order to get your account set up. You would have to go through uploading your documents and also go through a liveness check in order to get your account set up. We do offer an international card at the moment, which is a MasterCard, and it can be also exploring the process in which you'll be able to top up using HBAR and also local currency within Africa. The platform only would require you to supply it username, first name, last name, and also a wallet address in order to issue a card. And we also handle the KYC that you need in order to get the account set up and running. We offer a range of customization. And the program which I have stated before, the interoperability, you can see the diagram that there are different vendors and also their supporting pages. So the model of finance basically aims to service the interoperability layer between the different providers and allow you to have access to the different currencies which each platform uses. And the project is also built to be a developer-friendly API in which all you need to work with as a developer at the moment is an X API key which you need to include in your header, and that allows you to get a range of services from the API from Marathon. And you can visit the docs page in order to get a better understanding of the different endpoints as well, which I'll walk you through in the email. And you can visit the provided links in order to get a good understanding of each and every aspect. So let's go. As you can see, when you visit the app, you'll be presented with the login screen in which you would have to authenticate using a social login method, whether it's Google, Apple or Discord. You can also use an email authentication in which will send you an OTP to your email. Once you logged in, you'll be directly presented with the swap screen in which you have access to two asset types. You can choose and also select between the different asset types. You can select between Angolan, Kwanza, Unity Franc, and also a range of supported assets, of which the 10 are African currencies and the remaining 3 are international currencies. We do support also the Euro, Swiss franc, the United States dollars as well. You may use the filter option in order to dial down the options, and these different tokens are also actual tokens which have been issued on the Hedera blockchain as non-fungible tokens. And the Swiss franc and also the other assets as well. We do also offer the card service in which you can use to issue different cards. So to begin with, I'll be showing you how to do it. A single asset. So you basically would have to go through a KYC once and set up your account in order to get your credit card. So which allows you to issue more than a single card, which and also you can use this method in order to get the work done. This section also used to represent the transactions you have done. At the moment, you can receive and also send funds, but the demo only works in order to receive. If you want to make a transaction, you would have to use the developer API. There is an integration page in which I'm currently working on various integration, which allows you to send money into Fisseha, between Fisseha and MTN, and also within each other. The settings page would allow you to build your identity as another identity verification. For this button to appear, you need to go through a KYC system, which I'll be demonstrating at the end of the video. So once you press the mint identity, the system will go through a series of steps in order to get your account set up. And once it's set up, we'll show you a pop-up to check the NFT. So let's check it out. As you can see, the system has issued my identity as an NFT collection, which you can see in here. What gets issued as an identity verification is represented here as a JSON object. You can go through each and every detail of the fields in order to get a better understanding of what the identity documents look like. And also we do have the API keys, developers under the developer section. The developer section has support two pages at the moment. We do have the API keys management screen and also a docs page, which also you can alternatively go by visiting docs.madra.finance. And under the API keys, you can filter out between the different keys that you have generated. Copy the key, edit it, regenerate it once again, deactivate or delete the API key. So in order to demonstrate the API key, let's say paste API key. And also you get this new API key that you can copy and also close the model. And in order to authenticate using the API, all you need to do is apply it as an XAPI key under the headers of your API client. And if you hit that endpoint, you'll be presented with different results depending on the URL that you'll be hitting. So let's look at the different endpoints to give you a better understanding by heading over to the API references. So you can currently check the status of the API, the different assets costs. You can see the different assets that you can take as well. You can do the KYC via the API and also use the different card services by hitting this endpoint. The API is currently not the API documentation currently is not complete yet, but you can see the different endpoints by heading over to the file, dashboard, apps, API, and as you can see, there is different endpoint to manage the API keys, the auth, the cards, the Hedera related when it comes to Hedera, the consensus system, the smart contract system, the token system, and also there are nodes as well. There is a dedicated endpoint for the IPFS related stuff, the KYC handling, and also trading. You can see the API slash